Or filming of this part, but I'm going to show you the game. So let's go to this one, go past this one, to the next one. Yeah, we can skip this one. There we go, right here. So what you're going to see is, we couldn't play along live with the game, so I did the best I could. What I did when I played Sunday night with my son Stratton, we recorded my phone. So this is the screen of my phone. We recorded me actually playing the game. So these are not professionally produced videos. This is me actually playing the game, and you are going to watch it. Make sense? All right, so this is my homepage. I'm in the Fire Fan League, so go ahead and hit play on this video. So the first thing that I do is I go into my Fire Fan League. I click on Games up at the top, and I can now see all the games that my league is in, and I can choose to join the different games that are available. Now look at the top, see the green screen, it says my pregame picks are available for this game, so I click on go, and now I'm going through pregame. How many points will the team score in the first quarter? Okay, so I get to answer that question. Now, as I go through my pregame picks, I can pick, each time I pick, it just pulls up the next question. How many points will the team score in the second quarter? Pregame picks are not timed. You can take as much time on these questions as you need. And I'll show you in just a second. You can also reset them and answer them later. So I answer that question. Which team will have more penalties in the second half? The Seahawks or the Patriots? Seahawks? I know, they are a little bit of a fouling team. Now I'm going to show you how sound navigation works. See our little Fire Fan quick nav? That is going to be something you're going to get very familiar with. It's where all navigation happens. I can come in here and I can go to my home, my leaders. I click play on that and it brings me right back to the game. So anytime you want to go to the game, you just hit play. So I'm right back into my pregame picks. Which team will have more passing yards in the game? Seahawks or Patriots? Oh, Pats fans in here, huh? How many sacks will the teams combine for in the entire game? 6 equal? Which teams will make the first sack? Seahawks or Patriots? Seahawks. Okay, which team will have the first passing touchdown? Patriots. Pats. Probably a good call on that. Which team will have the first run of at least 10 yards? Seahawks. Ooh, split audience on that one. Which team will have the first rushing touchdown? Seahawks. No, a little mixed on that too. Okay, now, we're going to come down here. I'm going to scroll down and show you my pregame picks. Now let's pause the video here if we can. Okay, perfect. Now that, you guys were awful. Right? Just teasing. All right, so now you can see these pregame picks coming in. I went over to the pregame picks. Now, if this button, which you can't actually see because we didn't scroll up, but that big orange button is a big fat reset button, that in the pregame, prior to the actual game going live, you can click on that and reset your questions and answer them again. So if you didn't like your picks, you can reset and answer them again anytime up to live gameplay. Make sense? Yeah. All right, now let's go ahead and finish this one out. And we'll go to, oh, you kind of saw the peak of the pregame there. I didn't give you a very good look at it in my video. All right, so let's go to the next video. Now, what this is now going to show you live gameplay. So now the game has started. So I've already made my pregame picks. What you're seeing here is on the game screen itself, on the play screen itself, you're always seeing a play-by-play drive analysis of how the game is going. You always see who has possession. You're seeing the aggregate of what's happening as well as all the individual things. Now, we just had a change of possession, so you see, again, my notification comes across the top and tells me new picks are available. So go ahead and hit play on this. So now my new picks are available. And I'm going to go ahead and say, so how is this drive going to end? It's going to be Seattle's ball. They're going to get a touchdown, field goal attempt. I said field goal attempt on this one. So as soon as I say field goal attempt, it's going to ask me, will they make the field goal or not? So if you select field goal attempt, will they make the field goal? Yes or no? All right, so now will the offense pass for at least 25 yards on this drive? And will the offense complete a pass on this drive? And will there be at least 2 rushing plays on this drive? Okay, so now go ahead and pause for me. All right, so now here's our drive. Now our drive is in the system, and anytime we want, we can click on our fan menu at the bottom, go to picks, and we can keep track of this throughout the drive. Now what happens is they're all on these question marks until they become known. Once they become known, you're going to see green check marks if you got it, red X's if you didn't. Make sense? Pretty simple so far, isn't it? But what happens is this. Now what happens is you get highly competitive. Because you've made some picks, and you're playing with other people, and you really want to be right, and you really want to win. This happens. Whether you want it to happen or not, I promise you it's going to happen. It's like a disease. All right, so now we're playing in the game. So go ahead and hit play again. So now as I'm going through this, I can keep track of what's happening on this drive to see if I get my points. Now, again, I come back. Now I can see now look at the top. You see how, oh, we missed it. At the top it said your picks are in review because I had already made my picks. And then I saw my leaderboard. And now I'm seeing something called moments. Now this moments is play-by-play in the game that's pictorially captured. Have you ever gone to an app where you can see all of the pictures of gameplay, starting with warm-up and going all the way through the actual game? This is called moments in our app, and this is where a lot of socializing is going to take place. So inside of this feature, you can like photographs, you can talk about photographs, you can comment about what happened in it. This is where we have a social feature here. So you can come in, you can add your social commentary and post. This is starting the chat of our group. And now we're back to being. So that just showed you some basics of the gameplay. Now I'm going to show you a little bit more in the moments category, but let's go to the next video. So you got to go to the next slide. There we go. Go ahead and play this one. So now we've moved on to drive 2. Now we're actually watching the drive that we made the picks for, and you can see how as things happen, it slides in on your screen and gives you this play-by-play analysis. That becomes really important because if you need to leave the room or you're unavailable to watch the game, you can continue to keep tabs on the game and make your picks whether you're watching the game live or not. Does that make sense? All right, so go ahead and hit play on this one. Unless we already did and it's just taking a minute. Yeah. Don't go back to that one, sorry. I led you astray. Yeah, go ahead and push play on this one. All right, so now you're seeing that come in. Now you're going to watch. This drive is going on, and I'm playing this drive here. You're seeing, you're going to see this shift over in just a minute as I'm going to give you a little tutorial of what I'm working on in the app. So again, this is just recording me playing the game.
I'm going to go this way.
And I'm going to be clicking here on our fan navigation and going to be showing you how you just navigate when you're in game. Again, it's all single button, single hand navigation. It should have moved on. Maybe I only, oh, there we go. No. All right, let's go to the next video. That's all I captured on that one. All right, here we go. Go ahead and push play on this one. So now I'm further into the game. This is drive number 10, and I'm going to show you how, you see how this game has been capturing play-by-play, by play-by-play. At the start of every drive, you see a solid colored banner representing that team. Everything underneath of there is showing you the play-by-play features. Now I can go in and check the leaderboard. Very important. I'm on top, as we can see. This place I like to be. Now we come into the chat, and you can see what's going on here. Is you've got some chat happening here. You go into your leaderboard. You can check it out. You can also go into your picks and see how you're doing in your drive, and you can see occasionally we did well. Sometimes we were struggling. You can see where you got your points and where you missed, so you can kind of see as that starts to aggregate throughout the game. You can also go into the moments feature, and again, this is keeping every so often these moments are coming in. This is an actual API feed. Imagine having the USA Today's photographer, and instead of only seeing the best 2 that they decided to put in the newspaper, seeing all of them. Right, and so now you can also come back. So you've got play-by-play happening that's describing the gameplay. You've got moments happening that allow you to be very social. You've got the chat happening that's allowing you to chat with each other, and the leaderboard keeping you on tabs and on top, and then the picks that are happening throughout the game. Now, that's the simplified version of the game, and it's the game that you're going to see come out next week. Now, there are probably 20 other features that we are not starting with. And do you know why? Because we want everybody to get very, very accustomed to the fundamental gameplay, which is right here. It's the social side, it's the competitive side, and it's the gameplay. And once you get used to the fundamentals, what happens? We start adding features. Because if we threw in every feature we've got right now, people would open the app and they'd be overwhelmed. And they wouldn't know what to do first, second, or third. So we're going to start with the fundamental elements of the gameplay, then we're going to add to it. over time. And you're going to see a constant rollout over week 1, 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, about every 2 weeks, you're going to see rolling out, and you're going to see more features coming. You're going to see more elements coming. You're going to see more sports added. You're going to see more elements of the gameplay starting to add. You're going to be going into a game, you're going to be like, oh man, look, a new feature. But guess what? It's not going to be confusing because you're already going to understand the fundamentals, and now we just add another feature. Does that make sense? All right, go ahead and go to the next slide. So I want to make sure we understand that the future of this is incredibly bright. Now, when you think about apps, we've talked about this from the beginning, but apps are designed, and this entire experience is designed to be microtransactions by the millions. That means when we start, yeah, maybe we've got 1 million players that come into this game, but do you understand that 1 million is only 1% of a billion? It's at 1% of where we think we can go with this over the course of the next 2 years. 1%.
Wow.
What does that mean for us? That means we're starting very, very small. We're starting on step 1, day 1, and we plan to continue to advance far beyond that. We'll be adding more sports, more features, more advertising, bigger brands, bigger names, bigger spend. When we first come out, you're going to see very small brands, very small advertising in the game. Matter of fact, when we first release next week, when this app hits the App Store next week, you may not see any advertising for the first few days, and that's because we're going to come out with a beta tag on the game itself for a few days. Now, why are we going to do that? Because we've got to buy ourselves some time to make sure that we have patience and good graces if anything goes wrong. Does everybody understand that? So we put a beta tag on the software. Once it stabilizes, beta tag comes off, advertising goes in, and away we go. You're going to see bigger brands entering the scene. And why is that? Because we wanted 3 or 4 weeks. We wanted 3 or 4 weeks or 6 weeks of data and gameplay prior to bringing the big brands in. Not because they're not already knocking at the door, but because if you're going to have any fall downs, when are they going to happen? In the beginning, do you want to fall down on a big brand or a little brand? We want to fall down on a little brand, right? So that's where we're at. So you're going to see more sports, more features, more advertising, bigger brands, bigger names, bigger spend. What I mean by bigger spend is as we roll out new features, a lot of them are token type of features. So what are some things you might spend money on? Yeah, well, right now, live gameplay, but what happens when later you can customize your game screen with the colors of your favorite team? Right? Or you can create an avatar for yourself, or you can have an avatar created for you that's your player profile, or you can come into celebrity games. Now, what are we going to have in there? Right, we have the features that you saw, but so much more coming. But we got to release it a little bit at a time, kind of breadcrumb fashion. Number 1, it keeps us relevant. Number 2, it keeps us fresh. Number 3, it doesn't overwhelm our users and allows people to roll with the game early on. So this is very strategic. So let's go to the next slide. But the last thing I want to talk about here quickly is this. It's expectations. Now, I want to state this because I think it's important that you guys know. I already said we have plan A, B, C, and F. But expectations are these. We absolutely know we will fall down. It's like nearly impossible for us to be perfect. I have my iPhone around here somewhere. Do you know when Apple, which is one of the largest technology companies in the world, released their latest version of their iOS system, it took my phone down for like 4 weeks. Now, how is that possible? Should they be perfect? They're huge. How long have they been releasing software updates for phones? They still can't get it right? It's called software in general, technology in general. There is no perfect recipe. We were just talking to somebody today, and he said they did something that they've done 1,000 times, and they've done it the same way every single time, and for whatever reason today it just broke. Took their whole company offline for like 4 hours, and they have no idea what happened. That's technology for you. We will fall down. We already know it's going to happen. Are we trying to? Absolutely not. Have we done everything in our power to put things in place? Absolutely. But we would be fools if we were not prepared to fall down. Okay? Now, will we have errors in the game? Yep. Will we need to improve? 100%. But will we improve? Absolutely. Will we fix errors very, very quickly? Absolutely. Will we move very fast? Absolutely. And will we have a ton of fun? Yes. I need you to understand that we would not be releasing this game if we were not confident that the user experience you're about to have is going to be one that you're going to be able to look at and say, totally see the vision of where this is headed, and this is going to rock. All right, we wouldn't put it out there if we didn't believe it. Now, just like you guys got to play Monday Night Football with me last night, and they would probably agree with you that it was pretty darn fun, wasn't it?
Hey, Dallas, can we get some feedback on
that? You bet, absolutely. We had some Monday Night Football, we had some people playing with me, so instead of just hearing about it from me, let's hear it from them. Now, are you going, who are we going to first?
Well, I guess I'll go to an Alabama fan.
Now,
That is hurt my heart to do that. I want to hand it off to Ned Rich.
Now, Ned was really bad at this game.
Hold on, I will say this. Madeline is a very safe person. Most people know me. If I'm going, let's go big and go home. I'm going for a touchdown on every drive. And it's 35 points, or you can punt and get two. I always say, look, the social experience, and I'm not Facebook. I'm an old guy. I'm in the rock business. We're dinosaurs. But the reality of it is the social experience and the way people interact and smack talking. Brother Don, I'm coming to Tupelo. We're going to make the video. We're going to win 5,000. I'm coming, man. I'm coming. Anyway, guys, it's great. And I appreciate Natalie coming down and having a good time with us, guys. And I will tell you this from somebody who's been in business a long time. Sometimes you meet real people in life. Natalie's a real person.
Being smart with my picks, and then like, touchdown, but really, are we going to think about this? No, touchdown, or safety. Like the most uncommon picks ever. Like, that's got 50 points, let's go for it like we are going to.
Well, the news behind that was I didn't pick, so I couldn't be blamed.
The best news is, who are we going to next? No, see, the good news is that we played so bad, but not as bad as John.
Well, and that's one of the cool things. We played this spot over here in town, and John Greer, knew these people, brought them on, so they were graciously enough to allow us to play back in one of their back rooms. We had a private setting, and John, thank you. And he had an opportunity to play as well.
Well, in full disclosure, my son out here brought John.
Hey!
Thanks, John. It was easy. It was interactive. It was fun. It was easy. It was interactive, and I'm looking forward to playing.
Thank you, John. All right, we got to get a female perspective on this.
That's right.
Madeline does not count because she can whoop the majority of all of us.
I plan to keep it that way. We will have a Fire Fan League coming right out of the gate, so if you all want to play with me on Thanksgiving Day, I will be in.
I was just saying, this was Vicky. Vicky was with us as well.
Hey everybody, it was fun being there last night, and James, it was great playing with you. He was my partner. It was great. There's nobody on earth that likes to give a little brief better than I do, so that's the aspect of the game that I'm really excited about. Making those picks, that was good, a little technical for me on football, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Thanks, Vicky. And then we had Tracy.
Guys, the app is everything that you see on TV tonight, but I was telling Willie and Paul here a second ago. If you can imagine a basketball game with 30 seconds left and your team up by one, whether you got the ball or not, every play in every possession, you're that excited about that next play. Because you're either standing up because you got it, or you're standing up because you think you're going to get it, or you're sitting down because you didn't get it. And it's every single play. It's not one possession, it's every play. Like it's the last play of the game, you got a chance to win.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, this is a gentleman right here, Willie Felstone, to just say, I met with this guy. It was awesome to listen to him. We met with him in Chattanooga. He drove up to talk. He's a recruiter for Bethel University. And he's got a strong story. And he sat there and started asking me all these questions about football. I said, well, I don't know. He said, well, how are they going to do it? I don't know. And this is one of the gentlemen that we sit down and talk to. Before we had a video, we didn't even know what the compensation plan was. We had nothing. And I appreciate your vision. Thank you.
So just kind of quickly in closing, we really feel like we've built something here. And probably the single greatest experience I've had since this whole thing started was